Welcome everyone. My name is Brian Stark, one of the co-founders at Traction Ag. Was one of the people that helped start this company get off the ground about 6 years ago. And before that, just a long history in farm accounting, farm management software, dates back to the FarmWorks software days. So we have Bailey Brown on here too. Bailey, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name's Bailey. I'm part of the Traction team. I've been here for about 3.5 years, and I work out of the Omaha, Nebraska area as our retail channel manager. So, working specifically with partnerships such as FS, and working with those individual locations to get you guys connected.
Awesome. All right. So I will go ahead and just start with a quick slide deck of just a few things to touch on before we get started. So some housekeeping. So we love participation. So if you have questions, feel free to unmute yourself if you have questions. There is a chat icon in the toolbar at the bottom. So if you want to use the chat, we'll read that question out loud and answer them that way. There's also a Q&A button that you can pull up and ask questions that way as well. But at the end of the day, we just love hearing your voice and hearing your questions. So these webinars go a lot better on my end if you participate. With that said, so there's three different tiers to Traction. There's Traction Basic, Plus, and Pro. The things that we talk about today will be focused on the FS bill integration and the bill tracking. And we'll touch on a little bit on the field profitability and inventory and all that as well. But the bulk of that we'll start with today is going to be the FS integration. And so if you are really looking for that feature can be found in the Traction Plus or Traction Pro. And there's if you have questions about features and functionality, our team is happy to help you understand what features and what level of software. The things that I'll cover today is really going to be an overview of the FS integration. So we will be using one of my connected FS accounts. We'll be looking at the bills, reviewing the bills, approving them, maybe deleting the bills, depending on if they're right or wrong. I'll try to, if I have time, get into the field profitability part a little bit. I'd like to use some of the inputs that we're buying from the bill and see how you trickle that back down to the crop and field level. And then finally, we'll touch on some of the financial reports. And if we have time at the end, which I'm sure we will, there'll be a Q&A session, and you can ask as many questions you want. So with that said, I will get into the actual platform. Okay, so kind of getting started with Traction, and I'll be talking about entities and chart of accounts and those kinds of things throughout today. And this bills screen that you're looking at right here is going to be a big part of today's webinar. But I think once I start getting into the details here, if I kind of start with some of just the basic concepts of Traction, I think that will kind of help understand this part a little more. So if I just back it up just a little bit here, there is an area called the dashboard. So anyone who's getting started in Traction, there's like this three-step process of getting started. Very designed to be very quick and easy to get up and going. But the very first question it does ask, and the very most important question when you're getting started in Traction is like, what entity or entities do you have? So just to kind of give you a little bit of an insight here with my particular Traction account, I have two entities set up. One is the Stark Farms and the other one's the Newsbaum Trucking. So when I start looking at the bills and the reports and things like that, you'll be able to see that I can sort through just the Stark Farms or the Newsbaum Trucking and kind of toggle back and forth or include them both in one report. So this is a very, very powerful feature in Traction, and I like to start with this first just to kind of lay a foundation of what to expect when you start using it. The entities is something that we spend a lot of time on, and there's a lot of powerful things you can do with this. So you can access those entities through the getting started if you are just getting started, or in the upper right corner there is an option called entities. It takes you to the exact same spot, but you can start with maybe you have one or two entities, and if you plan on adding other entities down the road, as your farm maybe expands and gets a little more complicated, there is no limit to the number of entities for your operation. So that's the very first thing I wanted to talk about. There's also, you know, chart of accounts is a big hot topic. We get a lot of questions about this. We try our best to let you pick out your entity up here, and you have revenue and expense accounts that are really already set up for you to pick from. So we try to make it very, very simple, very, very easy to pick out these accounts, and then you can save them, add them to that entity, and kind of move on pretty quickly. You can customize your own accounts. You can actually take these names here and edit them. So if there's something there, the name-wise, you want to tweak it a little bit or add something completely different, you'll be able to go into the chart of accounts and traction. Again, be able to filter that out by entity up above here. And then we have your basically your balance sheet up above and your income statement down below of your revenue and expense account. So this is a great way to tweak things, your accounts. You can also go here to add new ones or add subheadings, which is a folder that kind of groups all your accounts together. So now getting into more into the bills area of traction. So the bills, this interface is pretty easy to understand. When I click on bills on the left, you'll see I've got two different customers set up. I have the Eden Farmer Co-op, quite a few bills here that I've not paid yet. Also, I've got the Keystone Co-op. I just have one bill here that's not paid yet. Both of these examples, I've got 5 in this one and 1 in the Keystone. They're red, which means they're at least 30 days overdue. So that's why you kind of see that color there. If it's a fairly new one and it's not due, if you're still within that grace period of 30 days, that will be green, and you're going to see that here in just a couple of minutes. But this interface here is quite nice. We'll be touching on this throughout today, and you'll be able to filter out this interface by entity. So if you just want to look at one or two entities at a time for that bill management side of things, you can do that. There's also ways to filter this by date range, or you can hit this filter button here and just show all unpaid bills or overdue ones or paid in full. So there's ways to kind of change the layout of these based on how you want to filter that. But I'm going to get into the FS bill integration and kind of hop right into that. So on the left side, you have what is called integrations. If I click on integrations on the left, you'll see that there is a green check mark on my FS. It's called FS demo on my end. For all of our customers, you'll just have this one called FS here to connect to. Since this is just more of a kind of a play account that I'm using today for the webinar, I've got a special unique one for my example today. But what you'll want to do is click on this and connect your FS account. And to kind of show you what that would look like, I'm going to go in here and choose Edit. So when you click that button to connect your FS account, it's going to ask you for your customer number. You have to choose the entity it belongs to, and then the contact for that for this number here, and then also the sync date, which is really important to know. So the sync date, I have mine dialed back to 2024. Again, this is just for demo purposes only. If I was probably in your shoes and you're just getting started in traction, and you're starting January 1st of 2026, you probably want to choose January 1st, 2026 here and have all the bills start coming in from that point forward. So I chose January 1st just because I have a lot of bills that are a little bit older to kind of show you how it works. But if I was in your shoes and you're starting this January 1st of this year, I would probably put that for the sync date. You can add numerous customer accounts here. So if you have 2 customer numbers that you need to plug in, that is possible. You can do that. So there's no limit there. But pretty easy interface there to kind of get you off the ground with FS. Once you connect to it, again, you'll have that little green check mark. You'll have to give yourself a little bit of time here to see the bills kind of flowing into this import queue, which is right here on the left. So that's going to be located underneath the accounting um, area. So the import queue, it's going to have a number here. So it shows I got 11 bills in this import queue. So if I click on the import queue, right there, you'll see those bills showing up there. But you'll have to give it some time. It's not instantaneously going to happen. You might have to give it 30 minutes or an hour for those bills to kind of start flowing in. It really depends how many you have flown over here. But once they're in, they're in. Now, these bills that you're looking at here from FS, these are bills that I have not approved yet. These are just coming over from FS, and this is where it's going to give me the opportunity to look at that bill, review it, and make sure it's right. I have some options at that point. If it's wrong, completely wrong, and I want to just delete it completely, you do have this. If you click on it, I'll show you how to do that once we get into it. There is a delete button there. You can just delete that right out of there completely, or you can change it and edit it if it's a little bit different than what they're saying, and you've had that communication with FS, and you just need to make the change on your end. You can edit those bills and you can approve them, so that way they become an accounts payable transaction on your end. So it's pretty nice. This is really designed to save you a ton of time. If I kind of look at this first here and kind of look at my list, I will start with this first one here, this one for $373.51. So if I tap on that one, it pulls it up on the screen. So as you can see here, it's trying to fill in as much information as possible. The one thing that you want to focus on is these little symbols here. There's going to be a red triangle here with a warning symbol, or there's going to be a green check mark. So the goal here is to make sure you got green check marks, and that way you can approve it and you can kind of move on to the next bill. Again, this is just letting you to approve these. This is not actually paying the bill at this moment. I'll kind of show you a little bit how that works. This is just getting the bill into Traction, and it's Traction is going to do some things here to save you some time to approve that. So, for example, this one here, it's saying LP gas, 186 gallons, $351. So if I just click on it, Traction's going to let me allocate that to a Traction account here. So this drop down here is where I can assign it to like my expense account. In this case, I don't really want to track inventory on this. This is just an expense, a fuel expense that I want to tag my books to. So my fuel and oil expense is the account that I want to choose here. And you can see right there when I chose that, it actually has the green check mark now on the left. So that's a good thing. That $373, because it's not like an inventory thing here, it does let you allocate it to a field or a machine. So there is a drop down box here where you can, right here, you can pick out your equipment. So if this was fuel to a specific machine, you can pick it out here, or not. It's totally up to you. This is really an option that we have available to you. It's not going to force you to do it. But you can put the dollar amounts in for each machine. I'm just going to say evenly split to those two machines. But this way I can track some of my dollars back to a machine, and that way, if that machine is used in my field records, it will then allocate that expense back to my fields. And I'll show you how that works in just a bit. Everything here, so I'm going to hit apply. So that looks really good. This one down here is just looks like a sales tax. And so I'm going to choose tax here. This is tax on that LP gas, which is a little green check mark there. That's correct. I'm going to hit apply. And so as you can see here, I've got a couple green check marks. That's a great thing. If there was a memo down here that you wanted to edit, you can do that. It's going to just default to what FS gives us, but certainly you can change that memo. Then hit the Save and Import button, lower right corner. And when you do that, it's going to take away. So it used to be 11 here on the import queue. Now it says 10. And if I go back to the bills in Traction, you can see I now have a new um, vendor here, FS Company, and right here is at $373. Now, one thing I didn't do, I didn't update that due date here. So for some reason, if I need to go back to make a change on that bill, um, perhaps they're going to give me more time. This one's obviously not right at all. I can go to the little three dots over here and choose Edit Bill, and you can change that here. So for some reason, this is actually supposed to be 2026, end of this month. So you can see I went ahead and edit that bill, put the new due date in, April 30th, 2026. It's no longer red at that point, it's green. It's just kind of let you know that you've got plenty of time to pay that bill. Let's go back to the import queue again. Let's take another bill, for example. So let's go to the $6,632.04. Let's go ahead and click on that one. It's pulled up on the screen. The due date here, I'm going to change that as well to 2026. We'll say it's due sometime in May. The build numbers looking good. This is what FS has given me. This is a really interesting one because Traction will remember things. So if I actually approved a bill already using some of these line items, it will actually check mark these off for you. So this one here, not a great example because I do remember picking the wrong seed variety on my last demo. I should have picked out this one here. But as you can see, it's trying to remember my inputs from Traction and assign them to the bill automatically for me. So it has some smart learning here for all these things. That map, same way. Right there it is. It remembers what I used the last time when I approved a bill that used the exact same product. That's good. As well as this one here, Acuron. Yep, has the same product there. That's perfect. It's actually doing all that work for me. It's even telling you the number of gallons here. It's going to adjust it by 20 gallons, giving me a new balance of 44 gallons. So that's all looking good. When you get to some of these now, if it's not an inventory item, this one has basically like custom hire expense or rental expense. So for some of this stuff, you don't have to have an inventory item to it, just like that fuel thing that we did before. This one here is actually rent expense. And if we wanted to allocate it to a machine, we can do that, or a field. All these looking pretty good. I'm just clicking on them one time here just to kind of make sure I've got the right account assigned to each one of these. And I believe I had maybe a couple mistakes there, but I cleaned it up pretty quickly here. Down below here, if there's any discounts or prepays on that bill, it will actually be filled out for you as well down below. So this one here is a good example where this one had a 10% early pay. And so there's a dollar amount. What's nice about it is you can select the items here. Okay, so you can apply that discount to these specific items on that bill, or you can leave them off. That's really nice because Traction is trying to calculate exactly what that cost per bag is, or per unit, or ton. I know a lot of farmers spend a lot of time trying to figure out what they actually paid for an item based on all the discounts and programs that they have. Seed is notorious for that. So this is just trying to do all that work for you here. So I had some sort of marketing plan here. If for some reason we don't want that to be part of the custom expense and rent expense things, we can turn that off and just apply it to the inputs. Change the memo down below. This one here is looking pretty good. We got all the green check marks. The due date is right. So we'll just hit save and import. And it's going to update my inventory. Yep, hit yes. And now my import queue is down to 9 bills. And if I go back to the bills button, you'll see that we added the new one here for $6,600. Right here it is for FS company. So that's really how we're doing it. We're getting those into this bills area, and once they're here, this information will start to show up on reports. Specifically, if you go down to accounting reports, and let's look at accrual and go to accounts payable report. Based on the date range here, it will have all these upcoming bills that we have to pay here, and the two that we did here today is listed. So they're on this report. You can do a summary as well and hit update. That way it just shows the three contacts here and just summarizes all those bills on one line. The other nice thing about that, if you go down to inventory, input inventory, as you approve the bills and those bills have input inventory on them, those inventory items will show up here. So everything from that map to that potash to that particular seed variety, I believe it was this one right here, it added it. So right there's my 18 bags. These all have a drill down ability. So if you want to click on the numbers here, and for that particular seed variety, you want to click on it and see where it came from. Well, right there it is. Right there is the 10 bags that we just approved on that bill. So if you need to go back and actually go back to that bill, you can do it right from the same screen. So lots of flexibility. The report side of things, we try to make it easy to find different values and find the numbers. Other reports that I think our customers really enjoy is if you look at the like cash or accrual, all these like income statement is very popular. You can again choose what entity that you want to appear on that report. Select the date range above here. If I want to do both entities, you can just hit update. And right now we're looking at two entities on one income statement report, the trucking business and the Stark Farm. And you've got the exact same tools here to be able to click on these different line items and deep dive and drill down. So if you want to click on seed expense, right there it is. All right, so I will dive into a little bit with the field records and kind of show you how it all kind of comes together. So on the left side here, you have what is called field operations and resources. Now, when you actually buy things like chemicals and seed varieties and stuff like that, you have an inputs button here. So we've got chemicals, fertilizer, seed up here. We kind of toggle between all three. We can toggle on, just show the ones that are in inventory at the moment. And so right there is everything that we have in inventory, including that DeKalb corn seed. There's the 10 bags from that bill. And let's say we want to start using some of these things here, or seed, chemical, fertilizer, and use them on field records. We will be talking more about the import queue for field ops. We have a separate webinar for that coming up here later in April that you might want to check out. But when you talk about field records, you can bring them in from the machines themselves, like John Deere Operations Center or Climate Field View. Just for the sake of time today, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go right to the field records on the left here and just do one from scratch. So to do a field record, we'll just hit the new record button and we'll say this is a seeding record. And I'm going to choose 2026. And all my fields here so far for 2026, I'm going to choose the the Nussbaum North field here. We'll choose that one and choose next. For this field, I'm not going to worry about the date and the time so much, just for the sake of the webinar today. But this is where you could put in the weather conditions. If this is coming from John Deere, this would be filled out for you. Next, the seed variety here, we will pick out that seed variety that we just acquired from FS. We can choose that chemical, fertilizer. There's a little plus button to add multiple chemicals and fertilizers for that field. We'll just choose that one there. So it's trying its best to figure out the quantity applied to that field. There is must be a land agreement tied to this particular field, which is why you're seeing a landlord quantity here. Again, we'll be touching on that next week with land agreements and invoicing landlords, but we do have the ability to handle that information if you're trying to do like a share crop type land agreement. We'll hit next. Equipment. We'll pick that out. We'll pick out the planter. You could pick out a person if you wanted to. Notes can be added. We'll hit save. And we just did our first field record. So the New Spam North Field. So I can click on that one, just pull it up on the screen. Right there's everything that I just entered into the field record. There's an edit button, lower right corner if you need to make any adjustments to this. But the report that I think our customers really enjoy looking at, especially during in season, if you go down to accounting reports, we'll focus on this field detailed report. Click on that. And right now it's showing 4 fields on this one report. I don't want to do that. Actually, I want to back off and just show the one field, that New Spam North field, hit apply and update. So that field was 30 acres, and based on what I've done so far, which isn't a whole lot, but my field records, my equipment, excuse me, and my cost per acre. So my equipment, it's kind of interesting to see the cost here for the equipment. It's showing $136 per acre to run that John Deere tractor across the field, and $102 per acre to run that Kinsey planter. Now those are pretty high cost here, and I think what's happening, because I've only farmed a couple of fields and I probably have a lot of expenses tied to that machine, that cost per acre is pretty high at the moment for this field. But as I farm more fields, this number is always changing. So it's going up and going down throughout the season. It's always trying to show you the actual costs on these reports. For whatever reason, if you wanted to switch that to default equipment cost, you can do that from the very top here and just change it and choose update. Traction lets you put in a default cost on your equipment. I have $25 per acre on that tractor and $19 on that planter. So sometimes it's nice to view that report at the beginning of the year, of the season maybe. And then as you get rolling and start farming the fields with that equipment, you can kind of go back to your actual equipment cost, something a little more realistic. So if we would just, do a harvest record here, it would put the bushels here as well, and then it would calculate my break even per bushel on this report. But at this time, this is kind of what I'm looking at. Yeah, I think, well, those are the things I wanted to talk about, really to show you, do a full circle moment, right? Where we're bringing bills into the software from FS, no matter what type of bill it is, or whether you're buying inputs or services and things, using those things onto your fields and equipment, tying it right back to the crop and field is ultimately what we would like you to do. The software, again, going back to those 3 tiers, basic, plus, and pro. So the basic level knows nothing about field profitability and that kind of thing. It's just really used for tax records. So to get to what we're showing you today, again, that kind of falls into that Traction Plus, Traction Pro. You need one of those 2 tiers to do the things that we're showing you today. Perfect. Thanks, Kathy. All right. Well, I will minimize this window here and let me just get back to this one. I just had one other slide to show you today. Um, so we have other webinars coming up. April is a pretty big month. So if you go to our website and go down to the footer of our website, tractionag.com, there is an events, upcoming events button you can click on. You'll see all of our webinars and even trade shows that we'll be at. We have some great webinars that you can attend coming up here next or this month. This one here for land agreements and invoicing is a pretty big one. We made a lot of updates to land agreements. Um, I touched on that a little bit today for that field record. That's a great one to check out. And then there's some other ones down below here that deal with like field profitability and accounts payable and that kind of thing. So I appreciate your time today. Hope to see you at one of these future webinars. And yeah, take care and have a great day, everyone. Thank you.